Chris, Hetty, and Eric are no longer strangers after meeting through the volunteer program at the Gulf Coast Humane Society. For the trio, a love of animals and an interest in the community created an instant bond with their furry friends. Animal rescue shelters across Southwest Florida need more people like Chris, Hetty, and Eric. Just ask Amy Lalonde of Lee County's Gulf Coast Humane Society.
I think that every volunteer starts as an animal lover. They maybe have a pet or they've had a pet that they loved and they think, okay, I've got a few hours a month or a week that I can spare. They come here, and I think many of our volunteers just fall in love with the animals, fall in love with the place and the space, and they keep coming back.
Volunteering with animals specifically, I think, is important because animals need our help. They can't help themselves. They're put in situations that they can't control, and they depend on us to take care of them. We need to be there for them, otherwise where would they be? How would they get homes?
The Denise Campbells of the world are important to the animals they help care for. They're also valuable assets to the staff at animal rescue shelters.
The nuts and bolts of it are that we have 15 staff people, including administration. So we are a tiny staff caring for over 250 animals on any given day. Volunteers are the third hand for our staff.
Was nice, the party was pumping, and everybody having a ball until the fellas started name calling.
When I get to the shelter in the morning, the Gulf Coast Humane Society staff are in full swing back there cleaning cages and getting their food out, so I just jump in and help whatever they need to do.
So from 8 to 5, the staff is so busy taking care of the basic needs. The volunteers get to come in and make sure the animals are socialized, get outside, get fresh air, get to play, get out of their kennel.
Bonding with a pet away from its cage is important in making the animal more adoptable. But the benefits of volunteering with animals is twofold. The dogs get to play and socialize, and the volunteers get exercise and social interaction too.
I usually get here between 9 and 9:30. I come 2 days a week, usually Thursdays and Sundays, and I go in and just start walking. There are about 35 or 40 dogs in the adoption kennel, and I just start and walk them one by one, sometimes 2 by 2, and if there are other volunteers here, they take one and we go together. Most of the people that I have met here are dog walkers that come the same days that I do, so we've been together. For example, there were 5 of us women that would come every Sunday, and it was just fun to see them. I look forward to seeing them as much as I did being with the dogs.
Animals remove conversation barriers between people. Volunteers instantly share a connection through their mutual love of felines or man's best friend. And there's something about that friendly, furry face that is instantly disarming.
I see it every day. Volunteers come in orientation one month, and then another group comes in, and then they make friends throughout their time here. And you really see friendships start and bonds created. They become friends with the staff, they become friends with each other, and they just grow. And I think that that friendship and those human bonds help the animals, because then when they're here walking a dog, for instance, their friend takes out a dog and they can walk together. So the dog is not only being socialized by 2 people, but another dog.
Getting involved is simple. Just ask Gulf Coast Humane Society's volunteer coordinator, Andrea Calkins.
Lots of our volunteers are working. What we ask of most volunteers, or of volunteers, is to commit at least 5 hours a month, which is, a little over an hour a week.
Volunteers also interact with the community every weekend at off-site adoption events. From Sarasota to Everglades City, animal-friendly venues along the West Coast are transformed into adoption sites where the public can meet pets that need a new home.
Phoebe was surrendered because she wasn't good with children, which isn't quite right, because we found out she's been with kids, so she's fine. She is fine with dogs, as you've seen. She's playful with the other dogs when she warms up.
The typical volunteer is, of course, an animal lover. They are people quite often who don't have animals at home and like to get their dog or cat fix here. A lot of the animals come in, they are traumatized, they are not that well behaved. The volunteers are those who help the animals become more adoptable. therefore letting a better behaved, more socialized animal out into the community, making the animal ready for society.
One thing is certain, volunteering has its rewards. Linda Levine at For the Love of Cats on Marco Island understands those benefits.
You get a lot of animals here who are frightened, who are sick, they may come in sick, who are rejected by their parents, by their mothers, and it really helps them and it helps you. I mean, there's an old cliche that says, you get more than you give. Well, that's very true here. You get more than you give. One of my jobs is to schedule volunteers and to get new volunteers to help us out here. And it does help us meet new people. When they come in here, I talk to them, I spend time with them, I introduce them to other volunteers. And they in turn go out into the community and tell people.
Jan Rich, a cat superhero and founder of a Marco Island no-kill kitten shelter, believes volunteers are the heartbeat of animal rescue.
We couldn't do anything that we're doing without volunteers. It looks like a small operation, but it actually is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation, and it's a lot of work to maintain all of the kittens and to be sure that they're clean and that they're healthy and they're watched over and taken care of. I think the most important aspect of volunteering for an animal shelter is probably people's individual ability to make a difference. I think by volunteering in an animal shelter, I think a lot of people think of the big shelters where there are hundreds or thousands of animals and they don't really think that they can make a big difference. But each animal responds to people, a different person, differently.
Yet, as many volunteers observe, animals who have been rescued often respond with love. It's almost as if shelter cats and dogs know they have been saved.
I think we help the community in that we're giving people who don't have animals some joy in their life by getting cats that they can have as playmates in their house or as just companions and friends for people who don't have anyone else. There's a saying my wife and I always have is that we really couldn't be friends with somebody that wasn't an animal lover. Or we'll meet somebody here, we'll say, what a nice person he or she is. And my wife will say, what do you expect? They love animals.
Animal lovers who funnel their passion into volunteering find the work to be challenging, motivating, and rewarding. But most of all, it's fun. By contributing a little effort and a little time, these volunteers help build a strong sense of community across Southwest Florida.